Arthur, Tesha, and her grandfather have just returned home. They are greeted by Tesha's parents at the door. However, Tesha's father blocks Arthur from entering, saying, "It seems my time as king has made me a bit outdated and stubborn." Tesha's mother then places a hand on Arthur's shoulder and says, "He means to say he's sorry for earlier. Please accept our apologies and consider this place your home. You are our daughter's savior and our father's first student," Tesha's father says. "Allow us to welcome you properly once more." They shake hands, and Arthur replies, "Thank you for your generosity." "Wait a minute," Tesha exclaims. "If you really want to apologize to Arthur, then let us play outside. I want to show him around." Arthur and Tesha go out to play. Tesha takes Arthur to the market. While walking through the crowd, Arthur accidentally bumps into a blonde elf boy. "Filthy," the elf boy says. Arthur is startled. "Sorry," he replies. "I could catch germs from a human," the elf boy says haughtily. "What the?" Arthur is confused. "Just because Elder Virion helped you a little, do you think you're accepted here? Ha, go back to where you came from, monkey," the elf boy shouts arrogantly. A few other elf children join in mocking Arthur. Tesha pulls Arthur away. "Come on, Art, let's just go," she urges. Arthur thinks, "This blatantly cliched character is making me want to do something to him." "Princess, I applaud your kindness," the elf boy says to Tesha, "but it lowers your standing to be with a common human. Allow me, Ferith Ivysaur too, to accompany you." Arthur is shocked. "Ferith Ivysaur," he exclaims. "So you've heard of my greatness, of course. I ascended when I was very young and..." Ferith is interrupted. "Wait, what did you just call me?" "It's pronounced Ivysaur, you imbecile," he yells. Arthur and Tesha just stare at Ferith, thinking in unison, "He really is an idiot." Arthur bows, saying, "I truly didn't realize I was in the presence of such an inspiring genius. This past will remember to always give you the respect you deserve." Arthur bids farewell. "Now, if you'll excuse us." "Stop," Ferith shouts. "You think I don't know you're being sarcastic?" he asks. "So he's not as dumb as I thought," Arthur thinks. For the pride of the Ivysaur family, Ferith declares challengingly, "I challenge you to a duel." Arthur is taken aback. What the actual, he thinks. "How dare you initiate a duel with Elder Virion's student?" Tesha says to Ferith. "You may be from a noble family, but you need to know your place." "Forgive me, princess," Ferith says, "but my father taught me to never let anyone tread on my pride." He continues, "Human, accept this duel or crawl away. Your decision will reflect on your teacher." Arthur thinks, a duel? Is that even a thing here? "I'll take your silence as acceptance," Ferith says. "Princess Tesha, please officiate this duel." Tesha raises her hand. "Prepare to duel." "Begin," Tesha shouts. "Prepare yourself, human named Arthur." Ferith swings his staff towards Arthur. This genius will show he's cut off. Arthur quickly dodges and punches Ferith in the face. Ferith falls to the ground. Thud. "Huh, that's it." Arthur seems surprised to see Ferith down. "I knew this would happen," Tesha thinks to herself. She grabs Arthur's hand and pulls him away. "Run," she yells. "I can't help but like this little princess more and more," Arthur thinks as he runs with Tesha. Arthur spends the rest of his day reading in the library and shopping with Tesha. Well, the rest of the day wasn't as exciting as beating up. Playing with Ferith. It was refreshing and allowed me to clear my head, Arthur thinks. As they stand on the balcony of a tall building, Tesha asks, "Your training starts tomorrow, right? Are you nervous?" In a room, Arthur stands before Tesha's grandfather. "I'm not sure how far along your lessons are, much less the pain from that core of yours. The assimilation process used by beast tamers is often compared to submerging your body in boiling tar. You will be stuck here in this foreign land without the comforts of your family. Even your day-to-day life here will be difficult. But if you can endure it, the rewards will be immense. Are you prepared for that, boy?" Arthur looks steadily at the old elf and replies, "I'm excited. I've gone through a lot to get to where I am now. Training, meeting my parents, He clenches his fist. I'm happy with everything that's happened. I'm looking forward to the future that awaits me. 3 years have passed. Tesha asks Arthur, we will. Tesha is holding Arthur's foot while he's sleeping on the floor in an awkward position. Arthur wakes up and yells in pain. Tesha continues to twist his ankle. Stop, I give up, Arthur shouts. Tesha releases his foot. Arthur says, couldn't you have woken me up more gently, Tess? You actually used mana to twist my ankle. Arthur sits up in bed and examines his foot. Tess replies, it's not my fault you didn't wake up when I asked nicely. Besides, you should be grateful a pretty girl like me is waking you up. Arthur looks at Tesha sarcastically and says, I've noticed the maids around here are pretty too. Tesha asks angrily, did you say something? As they walk down the stairs, an old man with white hair is waiting for them at the bottom. He says, you two took long enough. Let's get ready for your lesson. For basic elements and higher elements like ice, gravity, lightning, and sound. Higher elements can only be controlled by mages who have surpassed mastery of their basic elements. They are called deviants. Dwarves can only manipulate earth and/or fire, but like elves, they have a much higher affinity for those two elements. All dwarves can shape and bend metal. Talented dwarves can control fire and earth to such an extent that they can create magma. Elves are limited to water, wind, and earth elements, but with a higher affinity than humans. There are rare cases among elves, special deviants who can control plants. However, elves cannot produce mages who can manipulate higher forms of water, wind, and earth. Human mages have the ability to manipulate all four basic elements. They are also the only race capable of producing deviants of abnormal elements, which cannot be categorized into any element, such as emitters or healers. There's a delicate balance of power among the three races, considering population, overall inherent affinity to elements, and mage diversity. Arthur asks, was my explanation clear enough? The old man replies, not bad. Tesha is lying exhausted on the ground. She asks, question. Tesha raises her hand and says, I know this whole assimilation process is meant to get Art's body ready to handle his beast, but wouldn't it be better to have him physically train his body while using magic, like me? Arthur says, I already knew from my previous studies, but the differences in each race have really become apparent during these 3 years. The grandfather asks Tesha, why? Are you upset that you're the only one getting beaten up during training? Tesha replies, yes. Tesha says, Grandpa should be more gentle. Arthur thinks she's going to be a monster in the future. But I shouldn't say that. The old man says, what Arthur has been doing for the past 3 years is essentially merging his bones, muscles, and organs with mana. He hasn't been physically training like you, kiddo. But I can assure you that after this is done, his body will be stronger and tougher than a veteran soldier's. Tesha asks, really? The old man continues, then why is he so sensitive when I hit him? Tess replies, it hurts, you know. The old man says to Arthur, seems like these 3 years of merging haven't been enough to drain your energy. Are you ready? Arthur nods. The old man says, good, after today, you'll become a true beast tamer, unlike those lucky adventurers who just use their beasts like tools. The old man places his hand on Arthur's chest and says, I'm going to awaken your mana core by injecting a large amount of my own mana. You'll feel a bit hot, but it shouldn't be too bad. Arthur groans in pain as the old man's mana flows into him. An explosion of energy blasts Arthur and Tesha away. Tess checks on Arthur, who is lying on the ground, and asks, are you okay? Arthur weakly replies, I think I'm okay. The old man sighs and asks Arthur, what kind of beast willed itself to you? Arthur replies, a dragon. The old man is shocked and says, a dragon? He then mutters, my goodness, an actual dragon tamer. I'm actually training ... Arthur is lying in bed. The old man asks, how are you feeling? Arthur replies, I think I should be asking you that. Last thing I remember before blacking out was you going crazy. The old man says, I've, calmed down now. Arthur says, good, I can trust you guys to keep this a secret, right? Even after I leave, the old man replies, of course. And about leaving ... your departure date has just been set. For months from now, Arthur is surprised. Really? I thought it'd be another 2 years? The old man explains, the inter-race tournament between the three kingdoms has finally been set. The portal in the city of Zyrus in Sapin will open to both Elenwar and Darv kingdoms during that time. Arthur asks, is that why Tess isn't here, so you could tell me this? The old man replies, don't worry about Tess. I know you've been watching over them for the past few years through Renia, but you'll finally be able to see them in person. Arthur says, yeah, still, for more months. The old man strokes Arthur's hair and says, I'll make you wish those 4 months were over sooner, boy. Now that you've finished your merging, your training will become even tougher. Get some rest. I'll break the news to Tesha carefully. Arthur sits in bed and thinks. For months, a colorful egg appears next to him and begins to crack. Arthur wonders, what's that? Arthur looked worried. Sylvia's egg. He said, is it broken? He watched as the cracks on Sylvia's egg grew bigger. The egg glowed brighter and brighter. Arthur looked surprised. Sylvia's egg, he whispered. A small, black, trembling creature emerged from the cracked egg. It looked like a tiny dragon. Arthur stared in shock. Arthur gazed at the little black creature. The creature stared back. You're a dragon, aren't you? Arthur asked. The creature replied with a small Q. Arthur chuckled. Cute, he said. The little creature bit his hand. Ouch, Arthur winced. The little creature said, Nair. Mama, the little creature cried. Arthur was taken aback. What is it? He thought. The little creature continued to call, Mama. Arthur asked, who? The creature repeated, Mama. Arthur realized the creature was speaking to him telepathically. Q, it said. Arthur replied, and you? I'm a boy, so call me Papa. The little creature looked confused. Q? The creature purred as Arthur stroked it. I think I'll call you Sylvie, after your mother, Arthur said. Q, Saivi, the little creature replied. You like that, huh? Arthur smiled. Arthur felt a strong bond with Sylvie. This really does connect me to this little dragon. He thought, hey, I'm 8 years old and I already have a tattoo. And I'm a dad. This is insane. Arthur fell asleep. He woke up with a start. Huh? What? Who's there? He shouted. Tesher appeared. Arthur was surprised. Who's this? She asked. It's so cute. The little creature yelled, Papa, help. Arthur pulled the covers over his head. Go away, sweet sleep. He mumbled. Q, Papa, Sylvie cried. So you can communicate with it through your mind. Tesha asked. You're so lucky. Maybe if you can communicate with it, it'll like me too. It'll like you if you stop looking at it like a predator. Arthur replied. Grandpa, come here and look at Arthur's new pet. Tesha shouted. An old man with long white hair and pointed ears peered at Sylvie. The old man gasped. You naughty boy, that's a... He added, I'll die early if I keep getting these shocks. I learned that creatures, like Sylvie, usually only hatch in the presence of their kin. We tried to figure out why it hatched in front of me, but the only reason we could think of is the fact that I fully activated Sylvia's will yesterday. Do you think I should keep it hidden once I get back? Arthur asked. Most people won't know she's such a powerful creature. He continued. So you should be fine as long as she pretends to be a rare mana beast. Virian said, we held back your core's strengthening during the merging, but now that you've fully awakened, we need to get you training your mana core and your new dragon's will. Arthur asked, what should I do? Virian smiled. Virian tossed him a wooden sword. Well, I find that the best way to access the first stage of your beast's will is by strengthening your mana core and by constantly engaging in battle. That makes sense, Arthur replied. Good, Virian said. Virian continued. Then it also makes sense to fight against a fellow beast tamer while he uses a stage against you. It'll help you even more. Arthur looked surprised. Sylvie let out a loud roar. Sylvie transformed into a large dragon and attacked. Virian and Tesha dodged. Now, Virian said and transformed into his true form, a large black figure with glowing yellow eyes. "Let's fight, boy," he said.